okay? Are you okay with your little shaved belly? Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Hello. Hello. Hello, Bluebell. I love you.
Welcome to a new mood reading vlog. I feel like my fringe is way too bloody long. I can't see my eyebrows. I like to see my eyebrows. So I'm gonna have to go and get that trimmed. I'm going to start with a tarot card prompt pulls. This beautiful deck was actually gifted to me. It's called The Mysteries of the Black Madonna Tarot. So let's see what I get. Okay, we have a card. We have the Beloved. The Beloved is the lover's card. So that'd be nice if that's my day today. Am I going to meet my future lover or someone that is going to be a good partner in some way for me? The Lover's card is a romance book. Of course it is. Chanel, why did you even need to look that up? You would have paired it with romance. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Let's see what we've got that I could possibly read. Romance. Is there anything coming into my library that's romance? I don't think so. I really wobbly wascally wabbit. I really wish that Goodreads would allow you to sort by genre. That would be very helpful. Look, I do have the Romantasy. I think I was meant to read that in my last mood reading vlog. Or is that, when did that happen? I feel like that happens and I had a few options. None of those options have come in, none of those Romantasy books that have come into the library yet. So I will be reading one of those Romantasy books this month. I'm sure one of them will come in. It's just very hard with the libraries. You just don't know when they're actually going to process the books and release them. If they're new releases, I am first in line because I requested that they buy them, but they've been, processing for months. So even though they're out in the world, the library hasn't gotten around to actually processing them yet. What have we got? I don't have a lot of romance. I could just read some random historical romance. I haven't read historical romance in quite a long time, so that is also an option. I'm just trying to see if there's any just contemporary romances on my... Okay, just like I hypothesized, I don't have any contemporary romances on my TBR, but I will put up some options here that I find and we'll see which one I end up going with. I'll just, when I go to the library, I'll have a little look and see. I have been reading The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I am 384 pages through. I have just about 200 to go. So I'll tell you a bit about the book, I guess. Heaven's out of options, so devils it is. Europe is a mess. We have plague, famine, monsters, and royal egos the size of cathedrals. The elves are coming back, and guess what? They're not here for hugs. They're here to eat everyone. So naturally, the church's bright idea is to recruit the worst murderers, heretics, and war criminals they can find and scream teamwork at them until something sticks. We have Brother Diaz, the soft boy with a death wish who is tasked with herding this bloodthirsty disaster crew to do something noble, like steal a throne and stop the apocalypse. Let's just say they do things in the hardest, messiest way possible. I feel like the book is like the Suicide Squad meets League of Extraordinary Gentlemen meets Age of Myth. So it's a ragtag team, and their main task is to get this former thief who turns out to be the long lost rightful heir to the throne of another country on her throne. Her vicious, cruel, vain group of half brothers are not thrilled with that and definitely do not want her to usurp the throne that they believe belongs to one of them. So they each have their own team of hybrid man beasts to try and stop her from denying them their royal rights. So the team, we've got some pictures in here, which I think is fantastic. So we get some characters. Unfortunately, none of my favorite characters' pictures are in here, so I don't know how they look. So we've got a magician. I don't really like him. His name is Balthazar. We have a vampire named Baron. Is it just me? Is this looking like Billy Bob Thornton? I can't picture Billy Bob Thornton. So I'm just going to go with a hot vampire. Look, he starts off old, and every time he feeds, he gets younger. But I'm just going to envision him as a hot young vampire. He's very aristocratic, and I've got a soft spot for hoity-toity vampires who are very charming and persuasive. That seems to be his biggest power is compulsion. The magician's power is necromancy, and also massively egotistical. We have the former knight Jacob, who's a really great guy. He's cursed with, I can't tell you because it's a bit of a spoiler, but he's got a curse on him, but he's like the most normal of the crew. The regular Joe who's seen some shit and is just wanting very badly to retire. And here we've got Baptiste, who is kind of like a former pirate, former everything. She's dabbled in so many things. She's got a lot of stories, and for some reason I originally envisioned her as black, but no, she's white. We've also got a Nordic werewolf named Vigga, who's horny AF and is one of my favorite characters, just walking wild chaos. We've got Brother Diaz, who he's quite wormy and whiny. I'm not loving him so much. He didn't really want to be a priest, and he definitely did not want this job, but here he is. We've also got Alex, who is the former thief turned princess with a potty mouth. She's all right. We have absolutely my favorite character, Sunny the elf, and she's giving Freyrin vibes. So I am obsessed. I'm obsessed with her, and I love her, and she just wants a friend, guys. She just wants people to get her sense of humor and her jokes and to not be invisible, even though that is one of her powers. I think that is everyone in the main gang. This is just an absolute blast. So I do love Joe Abercrombie's sense of humor. There's a lot of sarcasm in this. Like I said, a lot of foul language as well. Colorful characters. My favorite two are Sunny and Vigga, and they are just trying to get Alex seated on the throne, but naturally they keep having to punch, bite, and stab their way through roadblock after roadblock, but it's feeling like anywhere between 4 to 5 stars. I don't think it'll be 5 stars unless it wraps up in a way that blows my mind. But so far, high 4s. So I've got 200 pages left to go. I will probably most likely finish it either today or tomorrow, but having a grand old time. So today I have to go and get some blood tests done to see how the treatment worked or didn't work, and to treat myself, reward myself for that, I'm going to go to the library, pick up some new books, and I'm probably going to go and test another hot chocolate today. I think that would be the funnest thing for me to do. And that's pretty much it. I don't want to do a lot because after getting tests done, I just like to come home and chill out. But I will tell you about today's perfume. So the perfume for this vlog is Kira Curl by Michan Aromatics. This perfume smells like salt-soaked skin and sun-bleached hair. It smells like a day spent riding the waves, toes curling into the warm sand, and the last shimmer of the tide pulling back. Sea spray, with sea spray that feels alive and kinetic. It's casual and sexy in an easy, natural way, like someone who smells amazing after a swim. So the top notes in this are sea salt and lemon rind. It's crisp, sharp, and very photorealistic. The lemon cuts through like the sun, and the sea salt is briny and dry. We then have heart notes of leather and surf wax or sex wax. It's warm, sticky, and textured. The surf wax note smells like sun-softened board wax, and it's been rubbed into neoprene and left to melt just a little bit. And the leather adds a very earthy ruggedness, like an old beach bag tossed into the sand. The base notes are vanilla, Buddha wood, and sandalwood. The dry down is quite mellow, the vanilla hums in the background, and the Buddha wood and sandalwood give it a very dry, smoky hug. The woods are very Australian smelling. They're dusty, resinous, and a bit windswept. As someone who dated a former surfer dude, it definitely smells like everything I've just said, but also the first whiff reminded me of shaving foam. So there's that as well. But otherwise, the book that I would pair this with is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's salt air, sun-warmed skinned, bittersweet scent of endless summers fading. We have waves of family drama and the feeling of belonging to the coast itself. So if you're really into the surfer vibe, I think this is very evocative of that. But I'll see you guys once I've gone and gotten my library haul. All right, unfortunately, no hot chocolate for me today. The markets started crashing while I was waiting to get my blood test done. I was waiting for an hour, so that was really painful to be watching the markets in free fall while I was not home and could not do anything. So yeah, as soon as the blood test was over, I went home. I'd already gone to the library before my blood test though, so I got some books. So I got a Microcosmic, which is going to be in an upcoming themed vlog. Claudia Pinero's A Little Luck came in. So this is one of the books I did want to read this month and will probably read in this reading vlog, as well as Terrestrial History by Jo Mungo Reid. The cover really caught my eye in this one. So this is a sci-fi, a family saga following 4 generations on a time-bending journey from coastal Scotland to a colony on Mars. So yay, I'm going to be reading all 3 of these books this month.
I love you, Blue.
Okay guys, so I have finished reading The Devils by Jo Abercrombie, and this is the little bookmark I used with it. So it's The Magician in honor of Balthazar. Okay, so as I was saying, The Devils by Jo Abercrombie, and as usual, Jo serves up ultraviolence, political backstabbing, and gallows humor. I thought this book was wickedly fun. It's deeply cynical, and yet you still can't help but root for these bunch of irredeemable disaster human and monsters trying to literally stop the end times. There were themes of redemption, corruption of power and religion, and moral ambiguity in this. The elves did not make their appearance in this one. They are still coming. It was mostly dealing with seating Alex on the throne. I did end up predicting a lot of the reveals and twists. I feel like there was a lot of foreshadowing and you could see them coming, but I still had a rollicking good time. And even Balthazar, the curmudgeonly, egotistical magician, grew on me by the end of it. I will, however, say that Ziska can get a pike shoved up her ass because I can't stand her. She is like the new villain to me. She's worse than the actual villains in this story. But I loved it, guys. It wasn't a 5-star. I didn't have that 5-star feel for whatever reason, but it was bloody close. Like these claws, you know, it's a 4.75. But I'm definitely continuing on with the series. So it is a series. Some of the characters will not be continuing on for various reasons. I will not delve further into it than that. But I will say Sunny still probably remains my favorite character, although the Baron, I'm very intrigued by the Baron. They're the most enigmatic of the crew. We sort of don't really know the full scope of them. Some things were revealed in here that added some extra layers and intrigue. It's like, but why, Baron, if that's the case? And what are you capable of? And what's your backstory with your wife and those dumplings? So yeah, really fantastic read. Loved it. So would recommend. The next book that I'm the next book I'm picking up is Claudia Pinero's A Little Luck. It's translated by Frances Riddle. I loved Elena Knows, so I'm hoping I will also love this too. So I'm going to start that today, and if I do finish it or DNF it, I'm bringing my Kobo as a backup and we'll just read something on there. Oh, I did end up picking a romance, so I wanted an audiobook, so I thought, okay, let's use this prompt for the tarot card pick of romance because I am intrigued by First Time Caller. I'm so far down the queue for that one, and I didn't have anything else. I don't really do contemporary romance except for my favorite authors, but I just, went on Libby and I was like, what's available right now in audio format? And it's The Heart Principle by Helen Huang, and I have read the first 2 books. So these are books that focus on neurodivergent main characters. I love the first 2. I put off reading this one. I was actually not going to, because I'll tell you what it's about and then I'll tell you why. So we have Anna's son, who is a sweetly anxious violinist who becomes internet famous by accident and then promptly burns out trying to live up to everyone's expectations, including her own. And just when she's questioning her entire existence, her long-term boyfriend pulls a classic jerk move. I think we should see other people, babes, before I commit my whole life to you forever. He just wants to sow his royal oats a little bit. He wants to sample some other fish in the sea before deciding to keep the one he's caught. Real charming. And then enter our MMC, One Deep. He's tattooed, soft-hearted, and very much the kind of man that Anna's family would approve of, which makes him perfect. She's aiming for a no strings, no feelings, one-night stand, but fate and Kwan's respectful vibes have other plans in store. What starts as a hookup mission turns into late-night talks, ramen, and real connection, and possibly the realization that Anna might not just need a break from her boyfriend, but from the person everyone else expects her to be. As usual with Helen's books, I expect depth, I expect a lot of complications, a lot of family dynamics, and a massive growth for our main character, who spends most of her time masking and just trying to please everyone else and be who they wanted to be. I wasn't going to read it because in the synopsis it says that she's already with someone and they're opening up their relationship, or he's opening up their relationship. He doesn't even expect her to sleep with anybody because, babes, you would never do that. That's not you. Me, on the other hand, I just need to make sure you're the one for me by sticking my dick in other women. So I decided to pick up because I think it was Marlena that told me, like, oh, give it a go, Chanel. You'll be fine with it, because it's not, then it's not like it's a relationship you wanted to stay in. It still icks me out a little bit. I prefer in romances my leads to not be in other entanglements, but in this case, you just don't want her to be with this guy. As soon as he brought it up, she should have said, I'm done. I don't actually want to be with you anymore. He's not someone you want anybody to be with. So I've just started listening to that, but that's on the agenda for the romance. And it was romantasy. That was my previous tarot pick for the last mood reading vlog I did. But the books just didn't come into the library. So sometimes that happens, unfortunately. Sometimes my choices and my TBRs don't plan out because I just can't get access to the books. And I'm not a big buyer. I won't buy a book that my library has. I will just wait until it comes in. Except when I didn't for Sunrise on the Reaping because I was 50th in the queue. I jumped onto that one way too late, so that was the exception. I did want to read it before the movie got released. Today, I am taking my kids to do this crafts thing. It's a whipped cream project. We did it way ages ago and I made a little photo frame for myself. I'm not making anything this time around. I don't need anything else. But they loved it so much the first time, they want to make stuff again. So we're doing that. It's all the way across town, going from the east all the way to the west. But we're managing to catch a lift with my dad because he's had to come out here. He's on the west side. He's come to the east side because he needs to pick something up from somebody. So he's like, I'll drive you guys there and you can just get an Uber back. So sweet. I'll definitely get some reading done today of some sort. Oh, and it's the winter solstice today. So that's Yule for anybody who knows what I'm talking about. I was going to do a little Yule event, winter solstice event, but it's not gonna happen. But I've decided I can't be bothered. I'm already doing enough and I need to keep some gas in my tank because tomorrow I've got the 40th birthday of the girl that I went to the same school with, whose mum is best friends with my mum, and we've chatted twice now at 2 events that we're both at because of our mothers, and she invited me to a 40th, so I'm going to make an appearance for that. So I won't know anybody else. I think there are some other girls from school that she's inviting that she was friends with. I know of them, but we weren't friends. But yeah, that's going to take a lot out of my introvert tank. So I'm trying to conserve it, but otherwise I'm feeling really good. I am the mental positivity mindset thing has been working quite well for me. I'm feeling very optimistic and not so beat down by everything. So yeah, I'm just really happy at the moment. I think too, it's also got to do with the fact there haven't been any tariff stuff happening. So I haven't had any more financial losses. It's amazing how much better your outlook on life is when you're not losing money. Oh, I just have to laugh about it. But yeah, no, things are okay. I'm doing really well, and I'm just happy to be here. So and to read good books. Like, this was just so much fun. I keep forgetting that there are books I really do like, and I don't know why I always push through books that are mediocre. Even though I'm pretty good at DNFing, I would say I am a pretty good DNFer, but I think I could be better. Yeah, honey. Yeah, I think I could be better. Life is too short to read mediocre books, eh? I gotta keep tossing them aside until I find these 4+ babies, because they make me so happy to read. And this was the card I pulled today from a deck that I made for myself. It says Magnanimous Panacea, and it's healing. So I'm feeling pretty good, like, touch wood. So yeah, fingers crossed for the results, but I'm feeling a bit better, and that's, at the end of the day, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Gang, what are we supposed to do after this?
Go home.
That's it.
I thought we did internet.
Yeah, I think it's just as many as you can fit on your thing. What's in here? It's a little kitty one. Oh, little calico cats. What's in here? So cute.
So only can do 15.
Indy's photo frame.
I wish it was blue. Bro.
Little doggy. Nero. Hey, Nero. Hello. It's like it's gonna be 30 degrees.
It's not, it's winter. I know, we can't even see if I pull in the little doggy.
She said, what are you doing, lovely? Do you need help?
Oh, why'd you wake up, honey?
Go back to sleep. Yeah. Yeah, you're so tired. You can go back to sleep now. What, you're just gonna keep your head up? Okay. Love you, Nova.
Hey guys, I thought I'd just come and update you on how yesterday went. So Mel, the birthday girl, was an absolute vision. She looked so stunning, like, oh, gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Absolute sight for sore eyes. Anyway, I also started reading the Botanical Cures and Poisons, and I am enjoying it. It turns out most poisoners are women. Women were the most skilled with plant knowledge, and a lot of them were killed as witches for it. So I am enjoying it. I'm up to cure and to kill. All things are poison and nothing is without poison. The dosage alone makes it so a thing is not a poison. I learned some things I didn't know, that Socrates, was it Socrates? I'm pretty sure it was sentenced to death by poisoning. Yeah, I'll let you know how I go as I continue to read it. I'm also going to probably concurrently read Terrestrial History by Joe Mungo Reid. So I'll tell you more about the books once I've read more about them. Hello, gorgeous people. I have finished some more books. So I did finish reading Botanical Curses and Poisons, The Shadow Lies of Plants by Fez Inkwright. This is your ultimate field guide to plants that can heal you, hex you, or help you fake your own death, depending on the dosage and your level of pettiness. It has gorgeous illustrations that dig into the juicy, toxic gossip of the plant world. Who got poisoned, who did the poisoning, and which flowers you definitely shouldn't put into your tea unless you want to meet your ancestors early. From belladonna's seductive glare
to mushrooms with serious attitude problems. This is a folkloric romp through nature's most dramatic drama queens. Whether you're a witch, a writer, or just a chaotic gardener, this book will make you look at your garden like it's plotting something. I enjoyed it. I'm really into plants and their uses, whether medicinal, nutritional, or homicidal. And I thought this had a good selection. I liked that they included folkloric elements and mythologies, as well as traditional and non-traditional uses, and moments in history where they were used often to the detriment of the person they were used on. I would have loved for the illustrations to be in color. I think this would have really elevated the book just that little bit more. So I think though too, it's a very accessible book. So if it's your first time wanting to learn about more of the poisonous plants, it does include plants that themselves aren't poisonous, but that have been connected to death in some way. So it's not just poisonous plants. Like apples are in there, even though, you know, the seeds of apples contain cyanide. It's a good selection of botanicals with bite. So that was a fun read. I then did pick up Terrestrial History by Jo Mungo Reid, and this book is like a family reunion. If your relatives are scattered across space, time, Mars, and multiple climate crises, and one of them just walked out of the ocean claiming he's from the future. I love the idea of this novel. Unfortunately, the execution and the writing style were not for me. I did enjoy the opening chapter, which is set on Earth and the ancestor comes strolling out of the surf and is like, "What's up? I'm related to you," like 100 years from now. Then the chapter that's set on Mars just was so dry, and I didn't like the characters that were in that one. It was about a father and his daughter, and it wasn't grasping my attention. So because this is for the mood reading vlog, I didn't persevere with it. I think the cover is really cool though. I then picked up Eat the Ones You Love by Sarah Maria Griffin. And this is about Shell. She's been dumped, she's unemployed, and she's back living with the folks. Then enter the mall flower shop and the irresistibly mysterious florist Nev, a lady who is definitely hiding more than just expired roses in the back room. It turns out that there is a sentient, manipulative orchid overlord who's hungry for more than just Miracle Grow, baby. It's Little Shop of Horrors in a dilapidated mall. There are themes of desire, obsession, transformation, and late-stage capitalism in this book. I had a lot of great hopes for it. Unfortunately, one of the POVs is the omniscient parasitic plant. And I think for me, I've come to find that omniscient POVs don't always work for me. They take out the element of surprise and mystery because they know everything. And the fact that they know all how the characters are feeling and thinking already, I don't know, it wasn't working. I also found the book was very slow. Like I gave it a solid 100 pages and I was just like, how long is this going to take to get to the action? So I went on Goodreads and most people are saying that literally everything happens in the final 20% of the book. And that it's not as sapphic as you would hope it was going to be, and that it's not as horror as you would expect it to be. So based on the other reviews I read through, I thought I'm going to leave it because it was feeling like a 3 stars. There was probably potential for it to bump up a bit, but I highly doubt it would go in the 4+ range. So I did decide to DNF that one. I am going to head into the library today and see what's come in. So I'll probably read whatever has come in there. Last night while I was in bed, I just grabbed something ebook wise, and I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue on with it or not, because it is feeling YA, even though it's meant to be adult. And that book is Lovely, Dark and Deep by Claudia Kane, which is a fantasy horror paranormal thriller. So I'll tell you a bit about it once I've read a bit more. But yes, I'm undecided. It's easy to read. It's written in a very simple style. It goes straight into the action. So last night it sort of did the trick to get me hooked before I went to bed, but I want to read a bit more before I tell you about it and tell you whether I think I'm going to continue on or not. So I will see you once I've gotten my library haul and we know what I'm going to be reading next. Okay, I am back. I'll show you the book that I bought from the bookstore. So this will be featured in a vlog in September way in advance, but I wanted to make sure I had it on hand. It's a beautiful rose velvet cover, and I love the cover. From the library, I got Spectrograph. So this is a graphic novel that caught my eye. It's a horror, and it says, for years the mansion has sat strangely nestled into the coastline, just a short drive north of LA. Rumors have haunted the place for years. Its owner, a titan of American industry with a perverse fascination in the occult. And now finally, with his death and his estate open for sale, they are eager to find out for themselves what occurred there. So look at the colors. Ah, isn't that gorgeous? So I've got that graphic novel. I also have this book, which is what I'm going to be reading next. So the book I'm reading next is The River Has Roots by Amal El Mokhtar, and it is illustrated. So it has beautiful black and white illustrations in the book as well. And I believe this is a mini fantasy book. So yes, it's the Hawthorne family, and they harvest the enchanted willows and honor an ancient compact. And two sisters, Esther and Isabel. Yeah, the land of fairy. Okay, what is stronger than death? Two sisters singing with one breath. I believe that the audiobook of this actually has singing in it, because singing is the magic that's used. I believe it's a language-based magic. So this is what I'm going to be picking up next. I was meant to be running a whole bunch of errands, but it is so windy today. And I was like, nope, like my ears already hurt when the wind blows cold in them. I get an earache, and I've already got an earache. So I'm going to have to save some of my other errands for another day. But I've got a yummy gluten-free brownie cheesecake, and I'm going to sit down and do some crochet, catch up on YouTube, and eat something yummy. Hello lovelies. So I have read some more books. I was reading Lovely, Dark and Deep by Claudia Kane, and this book was about a witchy recluse who was reluctantly pulled into a magical mystery when kids start disappearing in the creepy woods. Evil was afoot, and for the main protagonist, Cassandra, she was really the only one that could do anything about it, with little help from a hot fae. It was fine. It was very average, so average. So I decided to DNF it, and I then picked up another book, and I only have 100 pages to go, so I can tell you about it, and it is Hell for Hire by Rachel Aaron. Not all demons work for the devil. Some are self-employed. So this is about Bex, and Bex is a freelance demon. She's also a professional trouble magnet and proud team member of the worst behaved squad in the 9 hells. So on her team, you've got a wrath demon who gets juiced on gamer rage. I think Sylvie's in the top corner. Oh, she's so cute. A lust demon who snacks on emotions and people and is very mystique. And a void demon who's one existential crisis away from a never-ending nap. So in this world, you have a being called Gilgamesh, and Gilgamesh pulled a divine takeover and basically turned the afterlife into a fascist corporate nightmare. And demons like Bex have had to survive on petty crime and chaos. It ain't a glamorous life, but hey, when heaven says you don't exist, you might as well steal stuff. Their latest job, however, a little bit different. It is not the usual smash, grab and run from angelic HR. It involves a handsome, witchy client and his talking cat. Said client has a massive wood forest and needs help protecting it from the local warlock cabals. But things get very, very weird. Like, weirder than normal hell weird. And hell has no fury like a demon gig gone sideways. This has been really interesting. I really like the world building. The different types of demons is fascinating. Obviously, Bex is quite mysterious. She is diminutive in stature, but seems to have the most power out of all the demons. So our male witch is hella curious as to what's really going on there, and also fighting a very strong attraction to said horny demon Bex, and likewise for her. So there's obviously a romance brewing. It is incredibly slow burn. Nothing has happened yet. Just some very, very, very subtle flirtation. I like that both of them are quite powerful for what they are. I would say Bex is probably slightly more powerful, but it's a pretty equal relationship, which I really dig. I like when the power balance is balanced, but the guy is a little bit more of a soft boy, and that's the case here. It is slow paced, despite there being a lot of fight scenes. Like, it is a bit of a gradual build up to what I guess is going to be the final showdown, but it's pretty cool. Like I said, I like the world building, I like the magic system, and I'm interested to see how it plays out. I really love anything to do with nature magic as well, and talking cats, bro. The talking cat's name is Boston. So yeah, I'm enjoying myself. It's a fun time. So I will definitely be finishing that very, very soon. And then I'm going on to The River Has Roots. And I think those will be the final 2 books, because I've decided to now keep my mood reading vlogs to 4 books, because 5 books, these vlogs are going up to an hour long. It's too long, man. It's too long. So we're doing four books per mood reading vlog. So I'm really trying to cut down the amount of books I read as well every month. I'm struggling to fit them all into the thumbnail for the wrap up, and that is annoying to me. It's just too many. It's too many to read as a content creator. If I was just reading for myself, it doesn't matter how many books I read. I can read 100 books a month if I wanted to. But because I have to make content about them and talk about them and stuff, more books equals more work. So I'm actually going to start making another Oracle deck. So that'll take up some of my spare time again. So that's how I'm going to balance it. Otherwise, if I have nothing else to fill my time, it's a void that gets filled with books. That's just what happens. I have to actually have other things there. Otherwise, yeah, I will just read. Speaking of reading, so I also was meant to be reading The Romantasy from the previous mood reading vlog. The wait list for like all the ebooks, physical books, and audiobook versions of all of the romantasies I'm interested in, it's so long. There is no way, absolutely no way I will get one of them this month. Probably not even next month. So I decided to just buy one. We have Kmart here in Australia, and that's basically like Walmart, I think, in America. So it's just, you can buy super cheap mainstream books. I wanted to get The Night and the Moth. That's the one I'm interested in the most, because I did really enjoy Gillig's other duology, One Dark Window, but they didn't have any in stock. So instead, I went with this massive tome, Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry, Fear the Monsters We Make. How many pages is this? This is so gigantic. 640. That's so big. It's bigger than my head, and I have a big head. So yeah, big, juicy, meaty book. That's about gods, monsters, and mortals. A queen, a spy, a sacrifice. So that will be in the next reading vlog. Imagine if I DNF it. It's okay. Like I said, it was cheap, and I'll just put it in a free little library afterwards if I don't like it. But I wanted to at least attempt a romantasy this month, because Hell for Hire is, look, it's got fantasy elements, but it's more like an urban fantasy. I really love urban fantasies, or urban paranormals, if you will. But I find it very hard to find one that's good quality, if you know what I mean. I used to love like the Kate Daniels series, I think it was, but I read all of those. And yeah, I'm always on the hunt for some good urban fantasy. And I love stuff that has demons and angels and witches. So it's fantastic. And I'm hoping there'll be a little itty bitty bit of romance in this at some point. Perhaps, maybe, I think so. They're both super hot. Today, my cousin Phoebe is coming for a visit. I haven't seen her in ages. She's got a new man in her life, and I get it. In the beginning few months of a relationship, the only person you want to spend your time with is your boo. So she's finally free to come and chill. I guess we're gonna have to catch up on everything. So she's just coming over today, super low key, catch up. But yeah, that's all I have planned today. Finish Hell for Hire and get onto The River Has Roots. So I'll see you next time I have an update for you.
Chocolate gifts from my cousin. So many. There's so many. Yay.
Okay, loves, let me tell you about the book that I finished. So I did end up finishing Hell for Hire. The world building is wild in the best way. It's Mesopotamian mythology and divine bureaucracy with monsters with heart and mayhem with style. There is no romance in this, okay? So it's building, okay? It's laying the stepping stones towards it. I do love the quirky side characters. So you have a sentient broom, a sassy talking sword, and the talking cat Boston. My favorite character in this is the lust demon Liz, who was incredibly fun and a shapeshifter. The book overall was giving me Hellboy. So if you like Hellboy the movie, you'll probably like the vibes of this book. And it is medium paced. I remember saying, oh, it's so many action scenes, but it's slow. That's medium pacing, babes. So it's got a medium pace, which, you know, is okay. I do tend to either prefer slow or fast, but a lot does happen in the book. It takes a while though. The writing style wasn't super my jam, but I'm very much into it because of the idea of the story and some of the characters involved. So I will be continuing on with the series. The next one has the delicious Adrian, the nature witch, on the front cover. So I will be continuing on. Hopefully there is some romance in that one. Fingers crossed. A kiss at least, please. Thank you. The last book I have to read is The River Has Roots, so that'll be the final book. I'm going to the Law Perfumery event today. I don't know if I'm going to go take myself out to dinner afterwards or not, or wait and see, but that's what I've got on. I've also decided to shorten my perfume reviews. They were getting a bit long, eh? So I'm trying to cut them down, short and sweet.
Hey, pretty lady.
Hi. Hello, my darlings. Let me tell you about my night a couple days ago. It's been a few days since then. So the perfume event for the launching of the Raconteur's new line was fantastic. I spent almost the whole night talking to the owner, Craig. He was just gorgeous. It's an absolute delight to hear people talk about their passions. So I had an absolute blast and I did buy a few things. I did try all of Craig's new line, and the one that I went to, the one I went with was Killer Vanilla, which I will talk about in the next reading vlog. That's going to be the perfume of the next reading vlog. When I bought that, we got a free discovery set of the new line, so I get to wear all of the perfumes from the new line. We were also given a candle. So this is called Tasmania, and it has mountain pepper, lemon myrtle, boronia, thyme, sage, sassafras, cedarwood, and vetiver. I want to give it a sniff because Craig now lives in Tassie, and Tassie is geographically stunning. It is beautiful. The beaches there are pristine. It's a beautiful, quiet place. So here is the candle. I've got it upside down. So this is the candle, beautiful, sleek, black design. Oh, that's fresh. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, I do like that. That's very sexy and crisp and clean. What's the notes again? That's gorgeous. I really like that. Oh, okay. I have to stop sniffing the candle. I got a bit addicted. Oh, that's so nice though. Oh, I'm going to have to burn it soon. And I also got the Nocturnal set by Heretics. This contains 3, I would call them gothic floral fragrances, but absolutely had a lovely time, and highly recommend the Raconteur's line. I then went out for dinner, went to Naked for Satan, and then I went to the Western Lounge to grab a Beetlejuice themed non-alcoholic cocktail and dessert before going to see Beetlejuice. I pushed myself too far. So halfway through the musical is really funny. I'm not a musical fan, okay? I don't like singing, but even I thought it was good. The set designs were gorgeous, but yeah, it had a real comedic feel to it. But halfway through, I started getting signs of a POTS episode, and I checked my Oura ring, and Oura rings are great for that. I could see that my heart was going into the stress state, and I was about to go down. So I had to dash to an Uber and call my parents just to let them know. Luckily, I had salty snacks and water in my bag, so just being able to like sit in the Uber and drink the water and the snacks, I was already starting to get a bit better. But yeah, I had a full POTS episode, and it ended up wiping me out for 3 days. So all of the plans that I had on the other on the days. Gone, babes. So that sucked. I think for me going forward, 4 hours is probably the maximum I can go out and about for. The Pots episode struck at around the 6 hour mark. It was also in the evening. I think it was just too much for me. So I have to better learn my limits, I think. But I'm pretty proud of myself for being able to spot the signs quick enough to get out and get into the cab before the worst of it hit. Yeah, but it just sucks because unfortunately the after effect is severe chronic fatigue. I saw my cardiologists and my integrated medicine doctors and stuff, and they are, after the treatment went well. They're starting me on some different drugs. I'm not going on all of them. The cardiologist prescribed me 7 different ones. Start with 1, maybe 2, and see how we go, So I was hoping to avoid medication, pharmaceuticals. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be like a natural way to manage this condition. So it is what it is. It is what it is, and I need to take care of my heart. So it keeps on ticking. But I did read the final book for this mood reading vlog. 2 sisters, 1 love story, and 0 tolerance for mortal men. So this is set in Thistleford, which is filled with musical girls, magical willows, and 1 very pushy suitor. The main characters are Esther and Isabel. So they are sisters, singers, and part-time willow whisperers. Their main job is literally to serenade the magic willows. But then Esther catches feelings for one of the fae. So the town borders a magical fae kingdom, and she ends up rejecting the local eligible bachelor, who reacts exactly how you would expect a man who doesn't want to hear the word no would react. That is, very, very poorly. So you have a whole lot of forbidden love, sibling drama, and musical instrument revenge, because magic is real and some of the men are exhausting. So this was mostly about Esther's defiant love towards a fairy lover, and it is both a tender act of rebellion and a spark that ignites dangerous consequences. So in the novella, you've got these 2 contrary energies. You've got one that is this quiet ritual of songs and harvest, and then you've got the looming threat of a jealous suitor and ancient pacts. So the themes in this are of autonomy, consent, sisterhood, tradition versus change, reciprocity, rebellion, and sacrifice. This book is for the grammar hoes, baby, because the language system has to do with grammar, and I didn't get it. I really tried to understand it, but I didn't. I think that the writing style, which is very ethereal, liminal, and lyrical, didn't help. I had to spend a lot of energy trying to pass what was actually happening and going on. I think it's very pretty to read, but it's not something I could sink my teeth into and have a lot of clarity with. I was just left with a sort of very vague idea of the magic system and even the plot of the story itself. It just, unfortunately, it just didn't leave a mark on me. Yeah, it was too purple prose, I think, and I think perhaps this author's style of purple prose isn't for me. I also wanted to learn more about Ren, who was the Fae magic suitor, and also the other character, Agnes Crow. They were by far the most interesting characters in this, and they did not get enough page time. I definitely couldn't care less about the human male suitor, who was an absolute douchebag, and yeah, there was this one scene that had me raging. Entitled men. So yeah, like I said, I wanted more Ren and Agnes Crow. So maybe if we could get a book about them, that'd be great. But yeah, I thought this was good. It was good, but it was a bit like cotton candy. It just, it was very pretty, has a sweetness, but it dissolves instantly, and you're left wondering if you even consumed anything or not. So that was the final book for this reading vlog. I will sum up all the books I read in one word in order from least enjoyed to most enjoyed. So we have Botanical Curses and Poisons, The Shadow Lives of Plants by Fez Incrite. Venomous, The River Has Roots by Amal El Mokhtar. Entwined, Hell for Hire by Rachel Aaron.
Anarchy. And my favorite read of this reading vlog was The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. Blasphemous. So those were all the books I read for this mood reading vlog. Let me know what your poison of choice would be. Until next time, stay well, Star Child.